to catch the worm. Early bird catches the worm and all that. Morning. Nice to see everybody is keen. Oh, it's supposed to be last night, but yes. Guy has to sleep, huh? Relativity, special relativity, Newton, Einstein, all of these people. Where did it come from? Where did it come from? How did it all start? I did a bit of digging around. Relativity is not something I've really spent much time looking at because it just sounds like such a ridiculous absurdity that I just have never really bothered. But obviously now, because I'm kind of dissing it, you have to look into it. The beginnings, the very beginnings of it. Why? No, there's no fixed frame of reference in the universe because everything is moving. Obvious, so everything is moving relative to everything else, right? So if I put this here, I walk away from it, look, we're moving relative to each other, aren't we? That bird's moving relative to me. If I throw a ball, that ball is... So, why has that become a talking point? It's obvious that everything is moving relative to each other. So, that's really kind of it. So, of course it is. The one thing about this relative thing, and there's no fixed frame of reference in the universe, how do they know what speed the planet is moving at? How do they know what speed the solar system is moving at? If there is no fixed frame of reference in the universe, it's not one fixed point where we can say, right, we're traveling X amount of kilometers an hour away from that. Is there? So, if there is no fixed reference point anywhere in the universe, there is on Earth, right? Everything's fixed. We've got to put that in the Earth and walk away from it, and we can find out exactly how fast we're going away from it because we can measure it. But stars and planets and this is and that, how, right? So then, the speed of light is a constant, right? So all of a sudden, it's like the speed of light has become a measuring stick. How does that work? The speed of light, it's used to measure the distances to the stars, telling us how old the universe is because of the 299,792 kilometers per second. The 4.6 seconds it takes for light to travel the distance of the sun's diameter. That's your speed of light. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4.6, if you know what I mean. So if Earth is 150 million kilometers that way, it takes 500 seconds to reach Earth. There is only 108 suns diameters in between us and Earth, and you think it takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds for the sun to travel 108 diameters of itself? This is about common sense, right? Now, in October 1971, apparently, allegedly, right, some scientists... Alexa, where were the scientists from who did the flights with the atomic clocks to prove relativity? What country did it?
From physicsworld.com, atomic clocks in France, Germany and the UK have been used to perform the best ever confirmation of time dilation as set out by Einstein's.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, which country did the original tests to find out if the atomic clocks were going to be out of sync after flying east and west?
From space.com, Harpala and Richard Keating tested Einstein's theory by flying 4 cesium atomic clocks on planes around the world, going eastwards and then westwards.
Presume they're American, you'd think, okay? I don't know for 100%. I'm just assuming. I'm presuming, okay? It is said that in 1971, 2 planes, jumbo jets apparently, one flew east, one flew west. Some say it twice around the world and others, I don't know. The thing is, it's hard to find an exact number with these things, isn't it? That's how it works. There's so much misinformation spreading with the actual information that it becomes impossible. The same as the pyramids of Giza it was built over 20 years, 30 years, 40 years with 20,000 people, 100,000 people, 200,000 people. It's just this relentless misinformation that's fed in, and that is when common sense comes into play, because with so much crap that is out there, it's common sense that needs to go, whoa, 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 whoa. What's what here, right? Well, here's what's what. The easterly clock, after this flight and these whatevers, right, lost 59 nanoseconds. The westerly clock gained 273 nanoseconds, allegedly. This right here is ridiculous, okay? A nanosecond is 1 billionth of a second. Now, this is a nanosecond. That is a second, right? There are 1 billion nanoseconds in a second. What we've got is one clock lost 59 nanoseconds, the other clock gained 273 nanoseconds. So there is a difference, if we add them together, of 332 nanoseconds. So what we have after these 2 planes, one flew east, one flew west, we have 330 seconds of a billion. This is how much these clocks were out by. Now this was done in 1971. Look, Apollo took off in 1969. 6 successful moon landings. 1972 was the end. And this absurdity gets slotted in when that was going on? Seriously, right? Now let's have a look at nanoseconds, shall we? A nanosecond is 1 billionth of a second. 1971, billionth of a second. Alexa, when was the term nanosecond first used?
From wikipedia.org, a unit sometimes used in computing, the term is believed to have been coined by IBM in 1969 from the design objective never to let the user wait more than a few nanocenturies for a response.
A few nanocenturies. So, 1969. There's a lot of stuff happening in this little era, isn't there? Usually in America. The land of alien abductions and the Bermuda Triangle and Area 51. That kind of a thing. Stuff that there's never actual evidence for these things, but they're there nonetheless. I thought, right, let's put this billionth of a second, this nanosecond, into perspective. let's try and dig out 332 of a billion, right? So what I did, I broke it down. So a billion is 1,000 million. So we want 332 of a billion. Let's find it. So I took 100 million out of the equation. And then I took another 100 million out of the equation, and another 100 million, and another 100 million, and I thought this is getting ridiculous. So I took 200 million out on top of it, and then 300 million out. So if you add all these together, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 million, right? We're not using them, so that was to get rid of them. So we've only got 100 million left. So what I then did is I took 500, the number 500 out of that last 100 million, so that we could play around with the 332. So what we have left after I took 500 out of the 100 million that we had left, we've got 99,999,500. That is 500ths of a billion, all right? The rest of this, the other 999,999,500 need not apply. We only need 500, right? 332, so 500 minus 332 is 168 left over. That is a billionth of a second. How on earth have people with intelligence, right, accepted that clocks were out by 59 nanoseconds one way and 273 nanoseconds the other way? It's not even, these numbers that they keep going down, right, and they keep just opening them up and going deeper and deeper and making them bigger and bigger. So big, in fact, that it gets to the stage where they mean nothing, right? This is what proved relativity. These scientists built these atomic clocks because of a guy who said, I think that gravity bends light and stuff. And they went through all this trouble in 1971, at the same time as they were claiming to have landed on the moon, right? Listen, there comes a time with so much evidence that's out there about so many things, right? And so much of this evidence is just ridiculous, right? Like the Egyptians building the pyramids, knowing that they weigh the weight of 65 Nimitz class aircraft carriers, knowing that the pyramid, the Giza, built over 20 years, was what? 890 tons per day. These things are impossible. So why are people still believing them? Because everybody is used to believing in absurdities, right? Nobody questions them. You just accept them. Everybody's presuming that it was done. 59 nanoseconds worked out in 1971. Give me a break. That's why I don't believe in relativity. If this is the start-up fact, right? And since then, of course, everybody accepts the first one, right? You just accept all the others, don't you? If this first one is accepted, nobody need even do another test. All they need to do is say, well, guess what? Scientists have just discovered that 3 nanoseconds is the time it will take to boil an egg on Mars. Common sense is the ability, right, to know when the wool is getting pulled over your eyes. And this stuff is mind-numbingly absurditiesville, right? And that is why I do not believe any of this rubbish. This rubbish needs to be proven again properly. I'm not going to believe that the sun takes 4.6 seconds to radiate light the distance of its own diameter. I'm not an idiot, right? It's ridiculous. These claims are ridiculous. And that 4.6 seconds was not thought about when they came up with this Mickey Mouse number that Roma had zip to do with, because you cannot measure the speed of light from the sun by observing the shadows, by observing the shadows that Io was putting onto Jupiter, or as it was coming out from behind Jupiter at a distance of close to 1 billion kilometers, right? These things are stupid, they're mind-numbing, and the evidence, there is no evidence for it. It's shonky as, right? So that's my take on relativity. I don't even want to go into quantum entanglement, for crying out loud.